You press the PS4 power button. That soft beep. But that simplicity came from $4 billion in losses. Between 2006 and 2012, the PlayStation 3 nearly destroyed Sony's gaming division. The PS4 would do the opposite. Cost less to build, sell for less, make billions in profit. How did Sony go from the worst financial disaster in console history to the best-selling system of its generation? The answer required abandoning everything they thought made a PlayStation powerful. Sony faced a choice in 2008: double down on custom processors or admit Cell was a mistake. The Cell delivered 256 gigaflops, cost $400 million to develop. Developers hated it. Mark Cerny visited 30 studios over 4 years. The message was unanimous. Give us something we know. Sony abandoned custom architecture entirely. AMD's Jaguar CPU. 8 cores at 1.6 GHz. Pathetically weak on paper. Here's the kicker. Developers could code for it in days instead of months. Then the gamble. 8 GB of GDDR5 memory at $88 per console. Cerny bet prices would drop by launch. If wrong, bankruptcy. AMD fabricated the APU on 18mm process. CPU and GPU fused on a single die, 348 square millimeters. That fusion eliminated the PS3's bottleneck. The GPU delivered 1.84 teraflops, 1,152 shader cores at 800 MHz. That unified memory ran at 176 GB per second, no split pools. Developers could push graphics without fighting hardware. Power consumption: 137 watts maximum. PS3 drew 200 Sony redesigned thermals completely. Centrifugal fan, slanted case for airflow. Heat pipes tested through 40,000-hour burn-in. If any unit exceeded 55 decibels, it failed. Rejection rate, 0.8%. Foxconn assembled in 17 minutes, 43 steps. APU $100, memory 88, optical 28, hard drive 37. Total $381, sold for $399, $18 profit. The PS3 lost $241 per console. That unified memory changed what developers could build. Bloodborne ran 30 frames without stuttering, because From Software loaded detailed environments without memory. Juggling 8 GB. Kept cathedrals, enemies, and physics simultaneously accessible. The Last of Us Remastered jumped from 30 to 60 frames. Not because the GPU was dramatically stronger. Because Naughty Dog wasn't managing split memory types. Horizon Zero Dawn's open world loaded without transitions. Robot dinosaurs, draw distance, particle effects, rendered through 1,152 shaders in parallel. Guerrilla focused on art instead of workarounds. Third-party prioritized PS4. Call of Duty ran at 1080 progressive on PS4, 900 on Xbox One. That $100 price advantage and better performance created momentum. Sony tested every PS4 for 72 hours at maximum load. If fan noise exceeded 55 decibels, it failed. 0.8% rejection rate. Assembly, 17 minutes per console. Each thermal pad applied by hand. Each screw torqued to spec. The cooling system added $32 to manufacturing expensive. But the PS3's jet engine fan had become a meme. Cost breakdown: APU 100, memory 88, optical 28, hard drive 37, cooling 32, power 24, chassis 72. Total $381, retail $399, $18 margin. Not maximum profit, sustainable profit. Build what developers want. Price reasonably. Make money on volume. That LED strip on the DualShock 4, 4 colors. Most assumed it was cosmetic. Leftover from PlayStation Move. Sony tested 12 controller prototypes. The light bar scored highest in engagement metrics, not because it looked cool, because it provided peripheral feedback without breaking immersion. In GTA 5, it flashed red and blue during chases. In Alien Isolation, it pulsed with the motion tracker. In The Last of Us, it shifted green to red as health decreased. That LED cost 90 cents per controller. Sony kept it because data showed players stayed engaged longer. They died less in games with light bar feedback. Subconscious, peripheral cues reduce cognitive load. The decision reveals Sony's PS4 philosophy. If it helps players, keep it. If it costs money without improving experience, cut it. November 15, 2013. 1 million PS4s sold in 24 hours. By 2020, 117 million units sold. Xbox One sold 51 million. The gap was never close. Now you understand why. That 176 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth let developers build without fighting architecture. That $18 margin meant sustainable business. That 137-watt thermal design kept consoles quiet. That x86 architecture meant games just worked. The PS3 lost $4 billion. The PS4 made $20 billion in profit. The difference wasn't just better engineering, it was humility. Asking developers what they needed instead of dictating Mark Cerny's listening tour. The x86 decision. 8 gigabytes unified, $399 price point. Every choice came from accepting Sony had been wrong. That cell, despite costing $400 million to develop, was a mistake. The best technology isn't the most powerful. It's what people can actually use next time, the PS5. Sony bet on an SSD so fast it would eliminate loading screens. But that speed required custom silicon and rethinking game architecture engineers said impossible at that price. That story is next.